What are you doing?
Like, oh my god.
I don't even know what's going on.
Player one. Prepare yourself.
Don't forget to get cards at RitaYanez.com, and so am I. Under your bed.
Turn on the light! Turn on the light! Turn on the light!
Hi there, Cancer. This is your weekly reading for the week of December 7th through 13th. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is going your way in school. I hope you're happy. I know this looks like a crazy reading, but we're going to make sense of it, okay? Don't worry. Don't worry. On Monday, the card that you've drawn is the Five of Swords upright. So there could be a friend of yours that is like blatantly doing something that isn't even very much behind your back. So the reason why I think that this is a real potential for your friendships is that we've got activity in your solar sixth house of Sagittarius, and also that could indicate not just work and habits and routine, but that's also where we see, in my opinion, kids going to school before they go to college. We start to see a lot of that activity there. Also, Libra is being activated, and that is your solar fourth house of home and family. The fifth house also has Venus coming into play. Your solar fifth house is Scorpio, so there could be some ability to work these things out with Venus and Scorpio, so don't let it get too far out of hand. I think that it would be best to kind of lie low and see what it is that's going on before you make a determination, unless the situation comes right out in your face and it's, let's just say that you've got a friend who's stealing from you and it's happening right in front of you. At that point, you might want to grab the reins and get it handled. Have a discussion about it. Try to be civilized, which it isn't always easy, because if somebody's doing something like that to you, then they're not civilized, obviously. We're coming off of that Neptune-Saturn square. And, this is something that happens about every 9 years, so it's not like it's new. It just could be that this is the first time that you're consciously aware of it, and it started kind of rearing its head, the end of November there. So there's an indication that that could be what's going on too. It's just that you're trying to get comfortable with challenging aspects, which these things happen every day. We could pick and choose where there's some squares, and, sometimes we have a year where everything is retrograde at one point or another. We're like, wow, this is kind of like taking 2 steps back. Every time we try to take 2 steps back, where we're really not moving forward. So again, we could have also this intimation of problems with Uranus-Pluto square that are disruptive, and you will have seen this at the beginning of the week on Sunday or Monday. This is where you might notice this. There are, of course, the issues that Mars in Libra is stimulating, and again, there could be challenges in your family home, but it could be that you're the Cancer child in a home with a Cancer parent, and that things are just not really going very smoothly. Think about the Mars in Libra opposition to Uranus and Aries, and this is where you could really get a reality check, like, damn, if I don't go to college at 18 and get that going, I'm never leaving home, and I'm going to be with all of these over emotional people. Of course, that's what you should be thinking. And on Tuesday, we've got the Tower card, and this is where we need to really think about, where is the dysfunction, destruction coming from? I believe that it could be an issue that is difficult to nail down, in that it's happening around you and by extension to you, but I don't think so much that it is your issue. It's not your divorce, it's not your cheating spouse, it is not your boss taking advantage of you, or their spouse, their boss taking advantage of them. I think that with Mercury in Sagittarius, again, that solar sixth house squaring the North Node in Virgo, the third house, that you may be watching some not so healthy communications happening in your home. It could be that you've got a sibling or cousin or somebody like that who is going through some problems at work or loses their job, and then it kind of destabilizes your home environment because they contribute, to the bottom line financially. And so I think that these things are happening kind of outside you, but not directly because of you, if you can understand where I'm coming from. Wednesday, the Five of Pentacles really could be part of that destabilization, where there doesn't seem to be enough money. People are worried now because of Christmas, which if everybody would just calm down and remember that the reason for the season is not about exchanging gifts, that's lovely. But we can make gifts just like, we do when we're in school. And those are the best kinds of gifts, things that we can do with our hands, words, poetry, a song we could sing, something like this. It isn't about money. That's just the capitalist element that is the United States. And it's great because it keeps people employed. It gives people the opportunity to participate in the manufacturing of products. Who doesn't love made in USA? And then to also be able to take care of their families as a result. So Wednesday here, we also have the Sun in Sagittarius squaring Chiron and Pisces, your ninth house. And again, this could indicate that there is the issue of a breakup or something like a divorce in the realm of the home. I'm not saying that's for sure what's going to happen. Obviously, you're the only one who could tell me what's going on in the home, but that's the way I got to call it, because that's what it looks like. Mercury's move into Capricorn is going to help you, because it will at least give some structure, or at least the hope that things can calm down and stabilize before the end of the week, which, if there's a family, a separation, or people moving in and out of the house, of course, that's not going to be the most fun. And, you may be watching one of your parents end up in the doghouse. That's just kind of old, archaic speak for being in trouble. Your wife's unhappy, you go to the doghouse. So the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse is a card that indicates that somehow you're feeling like, again, this destabilized energy is not sitting well with you. I don't know any child, let alone a Cancer or Cancer rising, that thoroughly enjoys the family home being broken up. It's very, very difficult the younger the child. But then at the same time, I warn people, if you're going to get a divorce, would you please hurry up and get it over with? Because children bounce back very quickly the older they get. It's even like when you hear stories of some really lovely, wealthy family with no want or need, and then their children's lives are just decimated at 25 years old while they're still in graduate school because mom and dad are getting a divorce. It's like, Mama, Papa, don't do this, please. And we're like, look, no one is immune. Okay, this happens to the best of relationships and people with the best intentions, but I know you don't like it. Nobody likes it. I came from a home where my parents really needed a divorce badly. Very much so. They remained best of friends until my father died. And I know when my mom dies, screw her husband. She loves my dad and can even articulate how much she really wished things would have worked out. But I still had both my parents. They lived very close to us. That's why I don't understand people who then do crazy shit like give up their rights or custody with their I'm like, are you serious? You just rejected your kid? I don't care how stupid you are. That's like the mother of all stupidity. So it's really not my favorite thing, but I knew in my family that it was necessary for a divorce. My parents didn't give up custody. They just let us flow back and forth. It didn't really matter. They didn't make us choose to live anywhere. And then I got to experience a divorce where my ex-husband was being crazy and trying to force the kids to choose. I'm like, I'm just trying to make sure that you're in their lives and that you don't go nuts, dude. And then he, of course, had to be nuts. And I still was like, damn, I was from one of those divorced families where everybody got along and everybody else who was divorced ended up at my house for family reunion type parties and birthdays. And everybody was eating cake, enjoying each other's company. And some people didn't even speak the same languages. We had like 3-4 different languages and dialects going on. And I'm like, boy, if my family can do it, being I'm a first generation born American, I'm Cuban American, then look, freaking anybody can. You've seen movies with Italian people being crazy. Right there, you're looking at what a Cuban family is. Have you ever noticed the hot-headed Irish folk? Well, okay, you're looking at about the same thing without the alcohol. So on Friday, the card that you've drawn is the Death card, and this could indicate that there really is, at the time of this new moon, a moment for reflection that you need to stop and face that some of these things are just going to happen, and that there's no sense in attempting to intervene, nor would it behoove anyone involved to try to stop it. It just is where people could be acting dumb, where, look, it could even be that you really do have another Cancer parent or older sibling in the home where this destabilization occurs, and you'll be like, look, there's the normal Cancer saying, I think we just need a divorce and let's just get this done with. And then we've got the over emoting Cancer just losing his mind, just trying to keep it from happening. We're like, dude, just, like emote at another time. We're trying to schedule a separation here. So the Death card in reverse is just asking you to understand that transformation comes no matter what. It's what happens at the end of the sun and fun season when summer moves into fall and fall moves into winter. We know that the leaves are coming off the trees, or at least in the places of the world where the weather changes in the northern hemisphere, and that, snow actually hits the ground and the trees look like they suddenly threw off their clothes. And so this is inevitable is what I'm trying to say, and just allow it to happen. Just understand that for every season there is a reason, and for every change there was a season. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, but things just change. The only constant in life is change, if you can wrap your head around that one. On Saturday, the Hanged Man here gives me hope that you're going to be looking at things with a mature set of eyes and maybe understanding and making peace with those elements of life that change without us. And whether we want this or not, really, your children, your job is to go to school and to have fun and listen to your music and do your creepy things and make vines. And then as you get older, of course, relationships come into play. And when you're younger, you're just friending, really. You're not intimate with anybody. I mean, or at least I hope you're not, because it doesn't really cause anything but problems down the road. Or, I tell people, don't laugh so hard when you see the one chick who ends up pregnant, because somebody got her that way. And now this is no laughing matter, because children are now being born into a family where they're at risk because they're not equipped. They're still children. They're going to be children until the juvenile brain develops. Like I've told you time and time again, that should tell you something. If the brain isn't even near done, we touch it and we see if it springs back, or then we know that your job is supposed to be in college at that point. Then start dating to see if you've decided if you ever really want to be married. It probably won't come until you're all finished with your education and then have been dating somebody for many years, to see what time will test and prove. And so if it is happening to somebody around you and you've got a friend who's got some issues, there could be the surprise pregnancy element, you got to be there to help that person get some help to figure out what the hell they're going to do. Because the relationships with the baby daddies obviously don't last, because they're children too. I've never heard anybody say, well, I really wanted to get pregnant, and not be completely either clinically insane or lying, because nobody really wants to go through that or bring kids into that detrimental situation. Okay, so if you're seeing a friend of yours go through this, be supportive, but help that person out. Help them understand what the choices are, what the options are, from everything, and adoption, and or just getting help and seeing if somebody's family has a better opportunity for that child to be raised in a stable home, okay? You could be the voice of reason, because the King of Cups shows up, and the King of Cups here could be a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, could be a male or an effeminate, no, wait a second. A masculine, female. I got to get my flavor straight for you guys. I'm just so lost. So here the King of Cups is an element of a person who is understanding. And, maybe you're like, come on, we got to go talk to somebody. We need to get you some help. Let's start off with the nurse or the counselor at school. We need to get you help. It's not like in 9 months you can push reset and that baby's going to start all over again, sweetheart. The babies come, you know what I mean? They're going to show up when they do. So get on that. If you have a friend who needs your help, that's a very probable situation. It could be one of your relatives, a sibling, a cousin, a neighbor. It could be a half sibling, a step sibling. There could be all kinds of ways that this could manifest. Now, for those of you that are at no risk, absolutely, because you've got your mind into the books and your face between the pages, and that's what you're doing is studying. It could be that if it isn't a peripheral situation to somebody around you, that it really could be the fact that you are experiencing a kind of creative block where you feel that you need to give birth. I know that sounds weird, to a new creative project, but you either don't have the money for the equipment or you don't know how to get to point A to point B. Well, Google is your best friend, because that's where you can say, how do I produce synthetic drum sounds, and then it's going to give you 1,500 different, ideas of how this is done. Maybe you're a musician, maybe you're a beautician, maybe you're a mathematician, maybe you already have an idea of what you want to start off doing, and we're like going, time is drawing nigh. If you want to be an astronaut, we got to get your butt into the Air Force like now, today. So there's plenty of ways that these energies could work out. But what I want to tell you, Cancer, aside the fact that I love you and I appreciate you, and I think that you are enormously sweet, and I love getting my fan mail from you guys because you just pour out your emotions so easily. That's healthy. And plus, I can't touch you and I'm not a pedophile. So write me. Let me know what's going on. I want to know how you're doing. But understand, you got to love yourself and respect yourself enough to know what's right and wrong. And that if somebody pressures you into having sex with them, they're really not your best friend, and they sure as hell don't love you a whole lot. Because if anybody pressures you to do something that you already know makes you vulnerable and could create problems, you could get a disease or a baby on the way, then that person pressuring you, you should be able to say the words, look, I love you, but if you love me, you're not going to make me feel like this is something I have to do. I'm not even on birth control. And look, at rubbers break. I don't mean to be vulgar, but stranger things have happened. Have you ever seen those things where people put a condom over there? Don't try this at home. I don't even want to tell you why I know this, but it has something to do with college appropriately. So just keep in mind the fact that you are your own best friend first and foremost. Then, sensitive Cancer, remember that you are also one of the best types of friends to have, because you're not going to just say, okay, well, look, we got to get her done, go to the clinic, you need to be on the pill or something, because there you go, slinging butt. No, you're the type of person that can really be empathetic to a person's situation without handicapping them, because sometimes the voice of reason needs to be sweet, and that you are, Cancer. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll be talking to you soon. Make good choices.